Alrighty, how's everybody doing? I am G, the seeker of truth. This is Spiritual Stake. And yes, your spirit is at stake. Now, we've been doing our Bible breakdown here. We made it all the way through Genesis, chapter 1 through 50. We did that together. And so today, we're going to go over into chapter 1 of Exodus. We start in Exodus today. My overview of Genesis as a whole, we learned about Adam and Eve. We learned about Noah. We learned about Lot. We learned about Jacob. We learned about Joseph. But also, we seen the evil. Like, even in the beginning, right? Genesis, the first book. Sin was already here. Like, when Eve, before she even partook of the serpent, right? Like, even indulged in the listening. Like, the thought had to be implanted about this tree. And then the serpent just gave her the extra little push to go ahead on and indulge in the sin. Right? At least that's my take. But anyway, 50 ends. And it's a great scripture in 50. It's a 50-20. And this is what I want everybody to take from Genesis. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass as it is this day, to save much people alive. And that was Joseph. That was him addressing his brothers after all the bogus stuff they did to him. It's over. Everybody. They're going to do you bogus. They're going to do you wrong. But keep in mind, they did Joseph the same way, and God had a plan for him the whole time. God got a plan for you too. All right. Now jumping over into Exodus, chapter 1. Y'all know how we do. You gonna fire up, Speaking of firing up, man, look, I normally be twisting up with perfectos. But I grabbed these today, these things here. I don't really know how to say them. They stilsies. Stizy. But anyway, these are trash, man. Like, I am not enjoying the way these things is blowing. I don't like backwoods, first of all, because backwoods got them stems in them. And this one got a big stem all the way down through it. But anyway, this ain't about my terrible choice in smoking material. We're going into Exodus, chapter 1. You should be ready. This is the second book of Moses, because they say Moses wrote Genesis. And this is called Exodus. Now, a lot of people misconstrue the name Exodus with the children, the Israelites leaving out of Egypt. But I did some study on Exodus, and Exodus actually come from Latin, and it's like, these are the names. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you translate it, like, that's where they got the name of, because if you look at it, the first words are, now these are the names of the children of Israel. Well, that's Latin for what Exodus mean, according to AI. But anyway, let's get to it. Hold on. Excuse me. Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan, and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher, and all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all their generation. So Joseph passed, remember, In 50, we lose Joseph at the end of Genesis in chapter 50. Now over here in Exodus 6, it say Joseph died and all his brethren and all their generation. So Reuben gone, Simeon gone, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher, all them already gone. That whole generation is over with. Seven. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Now I want to pause right there for a second. I was wondering where the hate came from, right? The hate of the people. And I say that because incarcerated, you see, especially like, during them years I did, you see people come, different race, different ethnicities. And this is one thing that never failed. Out of the 12 years I did, in the 9 different prisons I was at, 8 different prisons I was at, this is one thing that never failed. When a Mexican came into the barrack, all the other Mexicans that was in the barrack, whether they knew him or not, they went to him, they brought him in, they greeted him. Hey, Holmes, you want something? You know what I'm saying? They getting this stuff, they introduced them to the other Mexicans, because it might be somebody that at their little clique that they already rocking with that know him or know something about him and know his people. And you best believe they spreading that night. When the white guys come into the barrack, all the other white guys, they gather around them, embrace them in, ask them where he from, all that, this, that, and the third. And you best believe they spread that night. Because it don't matter where he came from, he one of them. You see what I'm saying? We got the Laotians. When they come in, the Laotians is already in the barrack. They go and greet them. And they introduce them to people from Laos, excuse me. When a black man come into that barrack, the first thing every other black man say or ask the other black man they cool with is, do you know this man? And once they say they don't know this man, they got to figure out what he banging. Because if he affiliated and he don't bang what I bang, then he an enemy of mine. Now, you don't know this man, and his people, if they do bang, probably ain't never even been in tour with your people. You from Little Rock, this man from Fort Smith, y'all ain't never crossed paths, but you don't like him automatically. And I say that to tie it in with 10 because they say a new king had popped up and he seen how deep the Israelites, the kids of the children of Israel was. And instead of him being on some boss, like, let's try to make an alliance and build us up, he go tell me like, hey, man, they too deep. We got to get them up out of here. Let that sink in. And for everybody that been to the ADC, y'all know I'm not lying. 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmakers to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Phytom and Rameses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. Now, first of all, let's keep in mind that all the children of Israel related. That's the distinction right there. Between the Israelites and the Egyptians. We don't know if all the Egyptians related. We don't know if the king and the queen or the pharaoh and the lady, we don't know if they first cousins. But we know for sure that these Israelites come from first cousins after first cousins after first cousins. And it sounds like in 12 that they were still first cousin to first cousin to first cousin. Because it say they had, the more that the people, the Egyptians had afflicted them, say the more that the Israelites multiplied and grew. They saying y'all afflicting us and we ain't even tripping. We taking that out in the bedroom. You hear me? 2-5. 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. Excuse me. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then ye shall live. Then she shall live. But the midwives feared God, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? Now, that's an old tactic. That's a war tactic right there, right? You so scared of a people, but you fascinated by them too, right? So you want to take out all the men. All the little boys born, if they a little boy, we knocking them off. We don't even want them to grow to be a threat. Because keep in mind, all this started was because the children of Israelites, the children of Israelites. The children of Israel, they was deep. It was a lot of them. They were overpopulating Egypt, right? And it caused the fear in the Egyptian king. He say they too deep. And how do we take care of this? We can't have a mass we can't have a mass slaughtering out here. A mass massacre. So, listen here, women. When y'all go in here and these is little boys that y'all coming up out of here with, don't come out of here with it. Let the girls come out. And now a person say, well, why would they kill the men and keep the women? Well, look at today. Look at society today. And you might say I'm wrong for saying it, but you're going to know I'm right. Everybody, no matter what race, has a strong dislike for the melanated man, including the melanated man. But everybody, no matter what they race, is fascinated, intrigued by the melanated woman. Right? So if we can get the melanated men out the way, then we have our chance to be with the melanated women. They're a little bit more curvy. Their lips a little bit more fuller. And that's not me being racist. This is me being honest. I mean, they said it right there. He didn't say it like that. He didn't say we're going to take the men out the way so we can be with their women, but he said we're going to take the men out the way so we can have the women. And nobody don't go see it because they didn't teach you in church to look at it like that. You see what I'm saying? They didn't teach you in the temple to look at it like that. It was showed to you the way they wanted you to see it. Now put it in your face and you can see it how you want to see it. And if you deny that, that's you denying the truth for yourself. But you can't, that's one thing about it. Once you get into this and you see it for yourself, you can no longer blame it on nobody else. Oh yeah, you can run from it. But then that's admitting that you are running from the truth and you would much rather live a lie. Y'all see how my little banky up here on my thing? It just, got my forehead all that there, shine like that there. Say the midwives, so they feared. They feared something bigger than the king. So they feared God. So they wasn't killing them babies. All them babies was making it. And then the Pharaoh, he find out about it. Say, hey, y'all deliberately disobeyed me. Why have y'all kept these boys alive? 19. And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very, very mighty. So the midwives came up with a lie of why they ain't taking the boys out, why every child surviving. They say, hey, them Hebrew women, they ain't like we is. "21. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive." That is the end of chapter 1 of Exodus. And right there again, it shows you how fear, how we move off of fear. Now, these people, they ain't did nothing to the new king. But once the new king seen their numbers, he automatically feared them, for they outnumbered them. And how can you control the people that outnumber you, right? So you are scared, you are fearful. And your first thought is, let's knock off all the baby boys. When them baby boys is born, y'all toss them into the river. And y'all keep them girls alive. Now, tell me again, why you say they was knocking out the boy babies, but keeping the girl babies? Let me know what was your reasoning behind that, outside of them outside of them wanting to breed with the babies when they was older. Excuse. What was your logical explanation? Why did they say they were doing that in the church? When they read this part of the Bible in church, and they said that, because the end, that's how it ends. That's how chapter 1 ends in Exodus. 120, it's 22 scriptures in the first chapter of Exodus. And Exodus 1:22 say, and Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. So if I'm tweaking right now, if I'm just speculating, what was the reason they gave you for that? Huh? I forget. They ain't even give you no reason, because they ain't even emphasized this point. Read it, ran right past it. And then, in most cases, that was your first time ever hearing it. And there's nothing wrong with that. right? But before you sit and tell me I'm wrong, just make sure you right. My name is G. I'm the Seeker of Truth. This here is Spiritual State. And until next time, y'all stay elevated.